Blog Talk Radio.
But we are making a stand, and we're waking everybody up that 9/11 was an inside job. And you are the minority. You are the cowards who don't know the truth. You're the people that serve this evil system. You're the people that serve a system that hurts innocent men, women, and children. Not just Iraqis, not just Afghans, not just Africans, but the people right here in this nation. You serve a new world order that attacks and feeds on you. And I'm here to tell you that you will be defeated. Your hours are numbered. We've got the energy. We've got the life force. All you've got is evil backing you up. All you've got is greed and liking to look at yourself in the mirror. Because deep down, the New World Order is a pot-bellied, chicken-necked ninny. And all the armor and all the weapons are nothing. You are nothing compared to good. You are nothing compared to life. And you will be defeated. I want the individuals out there, I want free humanity to turn themselves loose, to cut the chains loose, and to use the end of that chain to slap the New World Order right upside the head. You've got the power. You want to know who's going to defeat the New World Order? It is you. You're the individuals that are going to be able to defeat this system. You're the individuals that are going to be able to take down the New World Order. It doesn't matter if Ron Paul wins. It doesn't matter if they rig the election. What matters is that we're starting to stand up. We're starting to move. We're starting to find our legs. We're starting to build our muscle. We're starting to realize that we do have power, and we can work together, and we can take action, and that the naysayers are a pack of weak liars who have never had any successes in their life and who are upset and frustrated to see us beginning to have victories against tyranny. They don't have any respect for themselves. They don't have any vision, and they don't have any will. And they sure don't have any of the power that shines out of God's soul and energizes all life in the universe. They have wed themselves to death. And they will crumble, and they will fall, and for eternity, we wed ourselves to life, and to everything good, and everything that flows from it.
All you ever hear about in this country is our differences. That's all the media and the politicians are ever talking about, the things that separate us, things that make us different from one another. That's the way the ruling class operates in any society. They try to divide the rest of the people. They keep the lower and the middle classes fighting with each other so that they, the rich, can run off with all the fucking money. Fairly simple thing, happens to work. You know anything different, that's what they're going to talk about. Race, religion, ethnic and national background, jobs, income, education, social status, sexuality, anything you can do, keep us fighting with each other so that they can keep going to the bank. You know how I describe the economic and social classes in this country? The upper class keeps all of the money, pays none of the taxes. The middle class pays all of the taxes, does all of the work. The poor are there just to scare the shit out of the middle class. Keep them showing up at those jobs.
They're all the same. I'll show you Politics in America. Here it is, right here. I think the puppet on the right shares my beliefs. I think the puppet on the left is more to my liking. Hey, wait a minute. There's one guy holding up both puppets. Shut up. Go back to bed, America. Your government is in control.
I have this feeling, man, because you know there's a handful of people actually run everything. That's true. It's provable. It's not I'm not a conspiracy nut. It's provable. Handful, very small elite run and own these corporations, which include the mainstream media. I have this feeling who's ever elected president, like Clinton was, no matter what your promises you promise on the campaign trail, blah, 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 when you win, you go into this smoky room with the 12 industrialist, capitalist scumfucks who got you in there, and you're in this smoky room, and this little film screen comes down, and a big guy in a cigar rolled a film. And it's a shot of the Kennedy assassination from an angle you've never seen before. That looks suspiciously off the grassy knoll. And then the screen goes up, and the lights come up, and they go to the new president. Any questions? Just what my agenda is. First, we bomb Baghdad. You got it.
All right, everybody, how you doing? Joseph Gibson here on Blog Talk Radio, understanding the times in which we live in today. It's 6:05 p.m. on the East Coast, broadcasting from Greensboro, North Carolina. Last week, of course, the show was canceled, unfortunately. However, there were technical difficulties with Blog Talk Radio. Why? I do not know, and I do not understand why Blog Talk Radio. They're bombarded with ads. I've complained. A lot of my supporters have complained. But we do have. Last week we had a special show planned, and we restructured the show. We were going to do it on Sunday, but my friend Mendelakan was not ready on Sunday, so he said, I'd rather prefer Thursday. So he's going to host the program here tonight. Mendelakan is going to be in charge of the program. Only my job is only going to be to monitor the phone lines, monitor the studio, and monitor the chat room. And, of course, I'll make comments and everything. I'll make my little introduction. And I know Mendelakan is on the line right now, which is good. He's on time, good. And what is he going to talk about? Well, he's going to talk about a lot of different things. It should be very interesting, but I'm going to give him and his people the floor, uninterrupted. We're not like Talk Real Stupid here, okay? We don't screen people. We don't hang up on people. You say what you want, but you got to be, we give everyone a chance though at the same time. Okay, we're unlike other blog talk shows, like you got the Freedom for All network there, the idiot captain there, total idiot. And then you got Talk Real Stupid there with T-Bone Thompson, okay, a.k.a. Richard Thompson from. I don't know. I used to post his address all the time just to piss him off. He's just an idiot. And, he promotes racism, promotes division, and he's scum. He's pure scum. And that's what he is, and that's what his network is all about. And that type of scum we don't need. We don't need that type of filth out there. We have enough filth to deal with this criminal government we have in the United States. I like to call them the United Snakes of America, because that's what this is. Now, do I believe in the Constitution? Yes, I do. If we followed it, if we really followed it, I believe it's a good document. But the problem is you've got scum out there, whether it be T-Bone Thompson or President George Bush or Abomination and all the other ones, screwing it up. I'm talking about my generation. I mean, I played a clip here about Kennedy being assassinated here in the beginning. John F. Kennedy, I believe that was the last real president we ever had before they blew his head off. Okay? I mean, how could you trust anything that's going on? What due process do we have in this filthy country anymore? All I do is say, hey, that man put a hand up my skirt, and that's it. He loses everything. I mean, what the hell's going on out there? But I'm sure Mendelakan is going to bring us a lot of information here. He's going to get the floor. I programmed the show a little bit longer tonight. He told me run it until they cut us off, and that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to go ahead and connect Mendelakan, and there are other callers on the line that want to talk also, Mendelakan, but I'm going to give you the floor first. And then I'm going to let you know I do have, and you got to press 1, folks, if you want to get on with Mendelakan, okay? So you got to press 1, and there is one individual that also pressed 1. It's a 251 number, Mendelakan. But I'm going to connect you, and I'm just going to monitor the lines, and the show is yours. So welcome to the program, and the floor is yours. Thank you.
Yes. Mother knows best because Father surely lied. And that 251 is our co-host, the daughter.
Okay,
of
I'm going to go ahead and
matriarch.
connect them then. I'm going to go ahead and connect them live, and you two go ahead and run the floor. 251, you're connected. Go ahead.
Absolutely.
Greetings.
Absolutely. Yes. What a great time to be alive. This is extraordinary and exciting, dangerous times in which we live. However, we are on course for something spectacular. And what we have to do is to forget everything that we thought, felt, believed, or had an opinion, whether it's the last minute, the last day, the last hour, the last month, the last 100 years. Throw it in the trash and let's start over. And you're going to see something spectacular in your own individual person, you as an individual. And we titled this program tonight, The Revolutionary Revelation, The Bloodless Revolution of the Matriarch. And I'll say it again. The Revolutionary Revelation, The Bloodless Revolution of the Matriarch. And the reason why I say that, many people do not know that from the founding of this country, it was founded under the Masonic order and the patriarch. It has caused the world to be turned upside down, and it has to be something exclusive and precisely to turn it right side up. And if you lay the map of the world out, you'll see that it's a pluralistic society, the last time I checked. And figures don't lie, and lies don't figure. It's a mathematical equation. Now we must go with numbers. When it comes to minority, let's first talk about the majority. The majority of people on the planet or in this country are women. And then you add the children, the old folks, and the men who will stand with the women. That's a super majority who had no voice until now. And we want to say that the mighty Pan-African Intelligence Network is the political wing on behalf of the people. And in that, we can put forth the righteous unity that will bring us out of this hardship, crisis, and state of emergency. So when we say who is the minority is black and white men on the planet. The minority really is not black versus white, it's wrong versus right. The minority on the planet is black men and white men. They are truly the minority on the planet. So it's a new ball game, a brand new ball game. And we're going to bring our co-hosts in as I set the table. But most of us, we have to realize that as we speak and interact with each other, most of us like to go in on each other. Here, from where we are, we're here to get us out. Get out. I get us out. We get us out. We have to get out of this terrible situation. And the only way to do it is establishing what must be. Establishing what must be alone abolishes what we see, nothing else. Now, in order for us to go there, we have to be deprogrammed and reprogrammed immediately. We done worked out a simple little formula for everyone to be deprogrammed and reprogrammed. First, you must put aside your racism, your bias and prejudice against anyone. So if you're white or you're black, you might say you're racism or racism this. And if you're black or you're in a tribe or clique, that's bias and prejudice. So even though we all might be together in all of the communities, we're biased and prejudiced. And then in the communities at large here, we say it's racism. Okay. We don't care about none of that because none of that is true. The real deal is this. As you close your eyes and meditate for 1 minute, here's how we deprogram and reprogram you all at once. I, me, you, does not remember anything from the past, the last second, the last 100 years. The only good thing about the good old days is that they are dead and gone. Divine intervention is now to the future and what we do from here. That simple procedure brings you into compliance with what you have to put into your brain so words, actions, and deeds can back up what we want. What do we want? We want freedom, justice, and total independence for everybody. And no one is right until we have exactly and precisely that. Freedom and justice and independence for everybody, or freedom and justice and independence for nobody. There was a great man named Gil Scott Heron. That was before telephones, only landlines we had, when he said, the revolution will not be televised. And in case y'all didn't know, that was back in the 60s and 70s. Go back and look up Gil Scott Heron. And there were popular songs during the revolutionary time of the 60s and 70s was the revolution won't be televised. But he didn't know anything about Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. And I'll tell you why the revolution goes through the interconnected society. It goes through the digital divide. I can say something in any social media in a matter of minutes. It gets from Maine to Florida, Washington State to California, from the UK to the University of Kentucky, from the Congo to the Bongo. Can you imagine and envision if a plethora of people who really want change get in unity and start organizing in place on social media, we can set the date for a great day that the whole earth must stand still and bear witness to freedom and justice and independence. And by the way, out of 205 nations, 179 will be in compliance with the people as they overturn without firing a shot and install the people's government. They will be in compliance with that. So without further ado, I do want to say that when we say look at the FCC, radio and TV, and why this is the hardest hitting transmission anywhere that you're going to see, and I will definitely say on TV or radio, if I didn't say it, it wouldn't be so. This is the hardest hitting information you're going to get. Let me put it this way. Today, if you go through FCC, through social media, everybody's talking about a civil war or a race war or some revolution. And that's a beautiful thing, because this is why we titled the program The Revolutionary Revelation. Because you have to go back to the genesis of how this country was founded. And there were two wars that many of us, as we talk about fighting and killing and everything, we don't put into the equation the two wars that got us in this terrible, terrible situation. And the first war was the Revolutionary War, the genesis. What was that? That was the people from America, when England, who sent her criminals and sent her outcasts and everything, and kicked them out of England, they sent them and they got over here. And then those that came here, they set up shop and set up a system that didn't allow them to be serfs, didn't allow them to be slaves over in England, didn't allow them to be permanent underclass. And then when England realized that, look, wow, we might have made a mistake. Our little children over there, they living it up. They're living large. They're growing. They got everything going on. So England wanted some spoils from their outcast children. And the outcast children said, no. You kicked us out, so now we got our own state over here in the Americas, and we're going to fight you for it. Now, during that Revolutionary War, there was black, brown, red, yellow, and white, old, young, gay, straight alike fighting against England. That's right. Now, you may not have come out the closet then with that Adam and Steve and Mary and Eve stuff, but you fought, if you were black or white, to repel your mother, England, the mother country, right, from the British and so forth and so on. And then the second war was the Civil War. Now, in the Civil War, you had the war, North and the South. You had the Confederate flag, which some people say, well, this was representative of slavery. And look at what the slaves are suffering from the South. And little did they know that was another trick in a Ponzi scheme, because the Civil War established the red, white, and blue, which today is threatening the sovereignty and integrity and dignity of all people all over the planet. So if you put the scales of balances, what flag and symbol represents the most oppression of indigenous and African people in America, it certainly wasn't the Confederate flag. If you look at what's going on today, you'll constantly see that we're in. Now, we're not bombing and killing everything in Europe, France, Germany, and England after World War I and World War II. Y'all said no. But the configuration of our war, rape, and pillaging and plundering is going on today is in the peoples of colors sector. So what's actually happened is that the Confederate flag, even though they may have been oppressive to Africans and indigenous people, that was a minority, 0.1% of those in this country. But then when you look at the winner, the red, white, and blue, that is the oppressive symbol of 99.9% of people of indigenous, sovereign, independent, and African people today in 2018. So that is the paradigm that we're confronted with, because we're saying that there will be no second revolution. There will be no second civil war or a race war. If we do not get out of our seat, on our feet, and into the streets with freedom and justice and independence for everybody, we deserve what we get. We're here to bring in live and let live and one love, and that's where the matriarch is. So without further ado, I'd like to bring in Her Majesty, one of the holiest of holies in this country, and she is not alone. There's 11 million women that is ready to get in line and take their place as the rightful heirs to Mother Earth and her precious, precious resources. So without further ado, I give you Aksheda Veda. Take your place, Mom.
Greetings all, and welcome to the program tonight. Glad y'all could tune in. I am Aksheda Veda, the chosen daughter of the matriarch, and there are 11 million women just like me. And so tonight we're on here and we're talking about the bloodless revolution and how this is all going to happen. But first we need to begin to see ourselves totally different than what we have been taught to see ourselves, just as people and then as women, because we are the majority. So when we begin to come into who we are and know who we are beyond this physical body, we can move beyond this physical body and the restraints that have been placed on our minds. And so this is where the deprogramming and the reprogramming begins, and it doesn't end, because there's steady evolution, because change is the thing that's constant in our life. We must change. We evolve from the day we're born. We evolve. So we must continue to evolve as we grow in our adulthood. So women, yes, it is time for us to take our place and to know that we are all daughters of the matriarch. And we begin to love each other as such and have that respect for one another. But we begin to respect ourselves and know that we are royalty and we are worthy of respect. First, respecting ourselves, because how we respect ourselves reflects how other people will reflect us in return or respect us in return, because I am you and you are me. And we should be viewing each other in this manner, knowing that we are really just one. So it can be hard to accept this fact, because I know this for a fact in my own. But moving through fear, shaking bones, it's okay to stand up and accept the fact that you are great. You're great. And so as we begin to connect with one another, we'll begin to organize in place and take control of our sectors and continue to communicate between one another as we move forward in the total recall of the matriarch. Because we are, no matter what situation we're in, we all come from different walks and different paths of life, no matter whether black, white, gay, or straight, no matter what religion you're from, what tribe you belong to, what nation you claim, we come together as one international nation. So as we prepare for this transition of power from the patriarch to the matriarch under the red, black, and green, we can organize in place, and then we begin to heal from within, from our temporary insanity, as we bring forth the balance that is needed to return to the old world order. Through the pain, we speak to the pain of every one of you, as we recognize that the healing that we need is the bridge to the connection between the mental and the spiritual aspects of oneself. As we heal ourselves, we can then see the next sister and see her in love and help her as she regains power and strength to organize in place. Until that day, we mothers give as
Excuse me. Can I just interrupt real quick? I just want to let everyone know, if you want to get on to the program, you got to press the number 1. I know Brother Mercy is here with me. Brother Mercy, I don't know what you think of the program. Maybe people have questions on what you're talking about.
I wasn't finished. I wasn't even finished. I wasn't even finished addressing.
Hang on. No. I'm just letting everyone know that they have to press the number 1 to get into the queue. That's all I'm saying. You can go ahead and finish. I run the show a little different than the way others run a program. I like to get everyone's voice in uninterrupted. I just interrupt to let everyone know they will have a voice on this program. So go ahead, continue, please. Go ahead. Thank you.
Oh, no, thank you for letting me know that what I'm saying is really getting through. So, as I was stating, as we grow and we help ourselves to heal within, we can regain the power and the strength and help them to regain their power and their strength to organize in place. And we mothers will come together and call that day that we will throw this corrupt system that has infiltrated and gained leverage through mind control, starting with the religious institutions and on into the schools. So, mothers, it is time for us to take our power back and to know who we are. Come into who you are unapologetically, and let's organize in place. And I thank you for hearing me out. I pass it back to Mendelakan.
Once again, everybody that's listening on the line, we encourage each and every one of you, whether you are pro or con, just be respectful or open up your mic. The board, which is ran by Joe Gibson, will recognize you. And don't be shy. We're not going to say anything that will hurt you. If you have something different, if you say, well, look, we think we should kill or whatever, it's time to get the guns or do, come on. I see you on social media. She sees you on social media. Everybody has a whole bunch of stuff to say. But when it comes to freedom, justice, and total independence, we don't want to hear crickets. So, Joe, I'll give you first crack, and if there's any ones, push, open up all ones, and those ones, identify yourself, identify what city you're in, and give us some of your power and your energy and input.
Yeah, please.
This is going into
please.
international progress.
I would like to hear. Though, Mendelakan, in your opinion. I would like Brother Mercy. He's a fellow co-host on several of my shows. He's hosted this program. What does he think about this revolution that you're talking about here? This nonviolent revolution. I mean, what religion? You say religion is corrupt. And we all know religion is corrupt, it's criminal. Religion is at the bottom of the barrel of the New World Order. We know that, especially with the Catholic Church. We know the Pope on a rope. The Catholic Church, the Vatican, they're the most corrupt out of anyone, I believe. The Vatican Church has so much power. You talk about a revolution. How do you really are going to convince the people to give up, for instance, the Federal Reserve Bank, the central bankers who own and control everything? It's the economy. The economy. When you deal with economics and the economy and money, now you're talking to people. Because we all know, yes, people believe in religion and God, but when it comes down to the almighty dollar bill, we all know that's what's really important to people, especially these big religious institutions like the Southern Baptist Convention, the Vatican Church, even the Muslims in the Middle East. It all comes down to the almighty dollar, the Jews, the Jewish, the Zionists. How are you going to corral these people who are fighting for money? And remember, they have the tanks. They have the weapons. What are you going to do, throw rocks at tanks? What are you going to do? How are we going to educate people? How are you going to educate people? That's the key, education. Mendelakan, go ahead, answer my question, please, if you don't mind. And I would like other people to queue in. Press 1. I want to hear from you. I don't screen callers. You're 100% live here. I don't screen callers. Once you hit 1, you're live. You speak. So I just want you to know that right now. I don't put you in a box and say, hey, what do you want to say, and then hang up on you. I'm not like other Blog Talk radio shows. We are 100% live, unscreened, unedited. So, and maybe some people have problems connecting. I've heard that before because our phone lines are filled. We do have a number of people on here. So I would like to hear from Brother Mercy, too, because he's one of my friends and co-hosts. I was hoping he'd press 1 here and have some questions here about this. But just get back to my original question, Mendelakan. Go ahead and address that, please, before I get to anybody else. Go ahead.
Absolutely. You made a misnomer. It's called the bloodless revolution of the matriarch. How do we get there? It's not a nonviolent revolution. I never said the word nonviolent, and we refuse that word on our table. Pain is in our mind, body, and soul. We're causing each other a great deal of pain, and anybody who want to fight, anybody who want to lie, steal, and kill, you can't win because hatred and killing I mean, if you close your eyes and be like Jose Feliciano, Helen Keller, Stevie Wonder, and Ray Charles, they can see what I'm telling you, is that nobody has won a war. I don't care if you say you won one, you haven't, because if you did, you wouldn't be talking about what you're talking about now. Well, they got all the atomic bombs and the weapons, and they print money. In the World Bank, IMF, and the Federal Reserve, they print money, but they know that their asses are in serious, serious trouble. Why? Because that's the minority. There's 75% of workers and poor peasants, 20% of the middle class, and 5% of the elite ruling class. That means that the majority must rule in a pluralistic society, and you have to be with team no fear over here. That means that they can't threaten jail and kill us all. Now, but in the process of getting to overturning the state, we're not saying that there won't be some people that may lose their lives, but what we are saying, in order to be a man, in order to keep your honor, the only thing you can do is serve, protect the women and children and old folks, build where they want you to build, the women, build and plant where they want you to plant. And if anybody try to prevent you from your birthright, ain't nobody got to tell you what to do. See, I don't have to tell you to go jump this person or do that. I'm saying something different than what you're saying because the bloodless revolution is in its completion. But until we get there, all instruments on the table. Our wing is the political wing to formulate and organize the people. That's first and foremost. Now, when it comes to the women, what is their job? Their job is to become the proper authority and administrators because Mother Earth was never supposed to be stolen in the stolen legacy from the mothers, grandmothers, and the great-grandmothers. Now, isn't that extraordinary that the majority of women in social media can pass this information on that what are we going to get if we go with what they're talking about?
So Mendelakan,
let me finish this. What the people got to know is what is the reward that they're going to get by switching and coming over here. In the end result, we're going to have the most access, not the least, to water, food, clothing, shelter, healthcare, protection, education, and not indoctrination. That's the end result. Now, you go tell me if we put this good news out there in the ethos in social media, we'll be peeling the ranks off of everyone, and the women will be organized in their local, county, city, state, and federal sector to accumulate the numbers that's needed. And once we get the numbers, then this whole nation will be in siege for the transition of power. And there's nothing no tank can do to stop it, but if we let y'all go the way y'all thinking, how many people you think going to lose their lives if a civil war break out? How many people you think going to lose their lives if a race war break out? How many people will lose their lives?
Millions.
If all these people who talking about, well, let's shoot our way to power. We're here to say that we didn't shoot, pray, vote, or go to school our way into these atrocities. And I'm telling you, from the Genesis, we didn't shoot our way into slavery. We didn't vote, pray, or go to school into this, and we're not going to use those implements to get out. But if we are attacked, I'm not going to tell you what the people are going to do. I know the people are going to be smart enough to know that they're either going to get their birthrights back or somebody's in serious, serious trouble. And whoever got atomic bombs, you have lost. Whoever put the money, you have lost.
Key point. I'm getting messages here on social media, Facebook, because we got many people listening on Facebook. We're number one in the chat room here, so we do have chatters here in the chat room, and then we got people on the call line. Press 1 if you want to jump in here. The People's Revolution, okay, I apologize if I misconstrued where you said it would be, you never said nonviolent, but you're not proposing violence. But what's the end game here? What's the ultimate goal? We obviously have the United States, we got Russia, we got a new world order forming right before us. Is your objective to stop this one world order and have sovereign countries and have a sovereign government someplace? I don't understand. You can't control the whole world. There's not going to be a one person that sits up on a throne saying, I'm in control. What's the goal here after the revolution? We win the revolution, let's say. We convince people. We educate people. Who do we believe in? Like, for instance, today, most people believe in God in the United States. They believe in the Lord Jesus Christ. Most people in the Middle East believe in Allah. In Japan, they believe in Buddha. India, they believe in Buddha. So who do we believe in? What's our goal here? What's the end result? If the People's Revolution and this network that you're setting up here, and it all begins here. Adolf Hitler started with 8 people in a bar. I mean, then look what he accomplished. But I'm not saying he was good. I'm just saying look what he did. You know, I mean, so what I'm saying is that, you know, you start someplace, but what's the end result? I mean, what are we trying to achieve here? You know, what is the end game? What's the end game?
Well,
if you don't mind answering that, please.
Let me give a quick 5 second and turn it over to our Shade Vader. The people you mentioned was all patriarch, warlocks, warlords, the Masonic order, who has to have fear and war the minorities to maintain power. What you're talking about is either black men or white men or yellow men, the minority. You did not consider the real heirs to the throne of Mother Earth, and that is the mothers. So without further ado, our State of Vader, give them a little bit more of your 5, please.
So I'm here, and I'm doing what mothers do in the process of this phone call, so please forgive me as I do what I do. But as I'm listening to the conversation, I'm hearing a lot about what are we supposed to do and where are we going after this bloodless revolution. And as Mendelakan stated, it is to give back to the mothers what was taken away, and that's the assets of Mother Earth. And so there's been nothing but war and killing under this patriarch system. And you saying, what are we to believe in? That's the problem. When we started believing in other things other than who we are. And so believing in other things other than who we are, we give our power away. When we have all the power to govern ourselves and to be accountable for ourselves. But yet we put all this accountability and this responsibility into a system that wasn't even built for us to begin with. So it's coming into knowledge and coming into understanding that we are more than who the systems that we believe in have told us that we are. And that's what we're coming out of.
Not to interrupt you before you finish, but 443, Brother Mercy, he wants to jump in here, Brother Mercy. So go ahead, finish your point, and then Brother Mercy, I'll connect you live. Go ahead, please, finish your point. I just like to pay attention to the call screen, like Mendelakan said. When people want to jump in, I gotta let them know that they're being watched and they will be heard. So go ahead, finish your point, please.
Oh, that's fine, and I love the way you continue to disrupt me when I'm speaking, but you know what? On that particular time right there, you was right on point. So I'm ready for the next caller.
All right, very good. I just believe that people should have a voice, and that's what this program is all about. I just only interrupt to let people know that it's not fair to call into a radio program and be ignored.
For the people to have a voice. For the people's voice to be heard. That's exactly the whole point of the bloodless revolution. So what you're speaking of is the same exact thing that we're speaking of. So we're on the same accord with that. High five.
Very good. Very good. I love it. Hey, great. Thank you. All right. 443, Brother Mercy, go ahead. You're live on Understanding the Times. I was kind of hoping you cue in earlier, but I think maybe you wanted to hear things out. You might have a different opinion about things, but and background noise, please. Background noise. Brother Mercy, you're live. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was wanted to say, about a bloodless revolution. It's too bad that most revolutions are not bloodless. Normally blood have to be shed in order for there to be some type of revolution. I mean, that's been the history of our revolution. So, I mean, in order for us to really have this change, in order for us to have the change that we want, in order for us to have this change that we really want, I think that we can have some form of, dialogue and, but when you talk about a revolution, a lot of times there's been bloodshed and violence when there's a revolution because the people at the top is just not going to let you just take over. I mean, that's just not how it's been. And a lot of bloodshed has already been shed. So I just wanted to say that there's been a whole lot of bloodshed already, and so I know we want a bloodless revolution, but I promise you, some price is going to have to be paid in order for us to reach our goals. And so I just wanted to say the way the state of the world is today, we do think we're going to have to come up with some resolutions, but it may be individual based, and then we have to come together on common ground. But I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't see it being bloodless, but that's just my opinion.
And I appreciate you putting that on the table.
I agree.
Well, go ahead. Answer the question. Answer his comment, and then after you're done, I got a question from Mendelakan. I was wondering, and remember, anyone press 1. We got the phone lines are filled. We are at capacity right now, so we've got a good audience out there. Remember, everyone can get a chance here. Just press 1, and I will get you on unscreened, unedited. See, I can't stand when other Blog Talk radios screen callers. I can't stand that. I just believe if you want to talk, it's 100% live, and that's the way it should be, because that's what these filthy networks we have out there, those boob tubes we watch, those flat screen TVs we watch, everything's programmed. And that's why they call it television programming, because they program you. And this is not what Blog Talk Radio should be. We should always be 100% live. But but go ahead and comment on what Brother Mercy had to say, and then I got a question from Mendelakan. Go ahead, guest, the co-host.
Okay, Joe.
Somebody.
Sheeta Veda is the name. What I was going to say.
I apologize.
Yes. No, all good. It's all good. We're all learning each other here, and that's all good. So, as far as the bloodless revolution, and there may be bloodshed, of course, no one goes into anything blind of that fact. But the thing is that, we're not going in with weapons, to harm and to kill and destroy anything. They may want to. Stop it.
Okay, we may got some background noise. That might be Brother Mercy, so I'll go ahead and mute. I'll mute you, Brother Mercy. I'll bring you back on. That might be you.
That's me. That's me.
Oh, okay.
That's me. Yeah,
okay,
that's my background.
I
told you I was doing the mommy thing. I can't pretend. I can't pretend. Mommy 24/7.
Okay. I understand.
24/7.
Go ahead. We got plenty of time here. Nobody's in a rush. Go ahead.
But yes, I do agree that there may be bloodshed in certain circumstances. Maybe, as you said, on an individual basis, or but we're not going in that way. That's all I'm saying.
Okay,
Joe, go ahead with your question.
Mendelakan, I got a question for you. I was wondering, would you mind if I tried bringing, it's your show, would you mind if I tried bringing Dr. Peter Ventura onto the program tonight?
Listen, didn't I say from the beginning that we reduce all racism, bias, and prejudice, and that everyone, black, brown, red, yellow, and white,
it's
old,
your
young,
show, brother. It's your show.
Now,
I just got to ask.
All right, now, you bring whoever on the line that want to get in, but let me go back to what you say, Brother Mercy, and yourself, would you believe in the same thing?
Yes, Brother Mercy.
Now,
yes.
When you come from that itinerary, you're going with what white power has already set up: lying, stealing, killing, rape, and war. You use that as the criteria when you say the word revolution, based on what happened from England and the Civil War and what happened in the 60s. You got to throw that in the trash. And here's the model, because we've had two recent models of the bloodless revolution. Both of them happened. I'll tell y'all what happened is in Egypt. There was a government less than 5 years ago when Barack Obama was the president, a tyrannical government, and it was under the Mossad, was the president of Egypt. And do you know that the people with social media, they came to the seat of power. They started with hundreds. Then they had thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, until they got a few million. And do you know that the Morse government was arrested by the same military that we would think that if we go out and ride and have protests and demonstrations that they'll attack us, the military will be put in seizure with the superior numbers, and they would have a choice to either attack the people or arrest the criminals. Do you know that Morse and his government arrested and no longer in power? Then who came to power after that? It was the Muslim Brotherhood. And you know what happened? Less than a year later, the people with social media, everybody brought their phones out into the streets and they called everybody, told them to come again. And the most brutal, tyrannical Wahhabist government in Egypt, many of them was executed and the rest of them are doing life in prison. And guess how many of the people was killed both times in those transitions? Less than 200. Less than 200, with two of the people installing their power on the tyrannical government. So now we have the examples. Well, look at it, people. Barack Obama was the president when it happened, but we was over here watching Trayvon Martin, Sandra Bland, and a whole bunch of other things. You know, the Montana militia. We was busy watching the Conquer and Divide, figuring let's arm and get strapped and let's do this and do that. That was not the way to go. So if you look at those two models, you've had two models to show you that with the superior numbers of the people, it will put the state in seizure to where the local police, there will be the leadership of the sheriff, the county police, the state police, even the National Guard. They won't be able to move on the people because the exigency, go look up that word, exigency, will be enforced. And the exigency is what? The extreme measures requires extreme circumstances. And in the exigency of class, not race, class, Action 567, the people will be called to order under the committee of one on behalf of the committee of the whole. So people are going to have to make the decision on what they want to participate in. Do you want to participate in this genocide, these atrocities? Do you want to participate in this thing where even the social media and FCC is saying, well, look, we can ready to have a civil war. We can ready to have a revolution or a race war. If that's what you want, then continue to do what you do. But we know that the majority of mothers who are witnessing their families being destroyed right before their very eyes, they know that what we're saying is absolutely true. So now the question is, how do we organize the people in place and speak truth to power? No secrets. We're not an underground clandestine movement. This is an international movement that will benefit not only ourselves here in this country, but it will benefit all over the world because they all are under the Masonic order of the tyrants. And the Constitution says that when you are under a tyrannical leadership, the people have a right and a duty to not overthrow. So it won't be an armed struggle to overthrow. It will be an overturn. See, overturn is the political legal term. That's why we come in with the class, not race. Working class, workers and poor peasants, 75% the majority, 20% of shrinking middle class, 5% minority, they will be put in seizure, and none of their pennies, $100 bills, or weapons will save them. Then when the transition to power, those weapons that we don't need, we'll get rid of. Those finances, those treasuries, those banks and the articles and assets, they will be turned over to the mothers and grandmothers and the great-grandmothers. They will set up the interim government in the local, county, city, state, and municipalities. The government of Washington, D.C., is a corporation that operates off foreign government. It has nothing to do with the people. The real capital of the people in this country is Harrisburg in the state of Pennsylvania. The real capital where the White House sits is on 6th and Market Street in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Why do you think all the tourists always go to Philadelphia and they want to take pictures at 6th and Market Street? Because they know where this all started. Why do you think Harrisburg is the greatest seat of power as it comes to the national representatives in this country? They had to set up Washington, and when they set up Washington, even the people around Washington have no birthrights. And the people around Washington, they would want more of what I'm talking about now than anybody else, because no matter who's a representative, black or white, they don't have no rights around that capital in the seat of power that represents corporations and foreign governments. So that's the answer to that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, well, Mandela, awesome answer. That was a great answer. It was lengthy, but it was informative, I must say. And everyone else out there, press 1 if you want to have a voice here, just to maybe talk to Mendelakan. You're more than welcome. But Mendelakan, I'll try to contact Dr. Peter Ventura here because, like you said, okay, he may have a different view. Dr. Peter Ventura is a pastor of a church in Imperial Beach, San Diego, California. But before I do, I want to say thank you, Deborah Lewis, for listening, Eden, North Carolina, and Elizabeth Rondo in Yalesville, Connecticut. Boy, my friend out in Nevada, my friend Christina, listening in the country of England. So I want to say we've got quite a good audience here tonight. So this is awesome. This is awesome. It's great. So I'm going to call Dr. Peter Ventura right now. Hopefully he can give us some time. If not, then we'll continue on with the show. And Mendelakan, you've had it out with Dr. Peter Ventura several times on this program. So back and forth. Hello? Hello? Okay, I hung up on him by accident. Let me try one more time here. I hung up on him by accident. Sorry, guys. Just give me a minute, please. I might be able to get him, actually. Maybe he's in a... Maybe I screwed up here. I got too many people on the line, I think. Oh, boy. All right, here. Come on. I don't want to keep so many people here waiting. All right, maybe we'll try him back here in a minute or two because I hung up on him. He might have the lines are filled, so I might not be able to get through. So we're getting an empty ringtone. That's what's going on. All right, cancel that call. All right, let's cancel that call right there. We'll try back in a couple of minutes. Brother Mercy, do you want to counteract or just react to the response you got? Or do you got any more questions? And I want to remind everyone else, please press 1, and I press the 1, and I will get you on here live. We've got over 50 callers on the line. That's the most I can hold. So go ahead, Brother Mercy. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say this country was established off immigrants, so there is a foreign element to this country, this nation. There's definitely a foreign element at work. I just wanted to say that it's just this nation's what this nation's up to, what this nation has done. It's kind of like a new experiment, so to speak, because what it has done, it has kind of federalized statehood and limited, states' rights under a federal government, so in this nation, I really believe that this is a new experiment in the sense. That's why it says New World Order, because what you have is 50 totally different laws for different states, for jurisdictions. Different stars on the flag. So things get convoluted when you talk about issues, whether it's a local issue, whether it's a county issue, whether it's a state issue, whether it's a federal issue. Muhammad Ali fought the federal issue that was going on at the time, which was the draft. Okay, so what we have to do is we got to be clear about what battle we're fighting, because we got several different governments at work that we all pay taxes to, individual to each one. We pay city tax, state tax, county tax, federal tax. So we pay all these different taxes, sales tax, property tax. We pay all these individuals, and all these individuals are at work. So I say this to say that I think there's going to have to be a revamping, or it's going to have to be a takeover in the sense we're going to have to wisen up, put our resources together, and we're going to think like entrepreneurs and take over, because really at the end of the day, money kind of answers a lot of questions. So if you follow the dollar, you'll find out where a lot of people's minds and hearts are at. So,
but Brother Mercy, this revolution. But hang on, Brother Mercy, let me interrupt. Yeah, we're going to have entrepreneurship, capitalism. How does capitalism fit into this? How does the individual farmer out there? We have a revolution, and Mendelakan said the matriarch mother, the mothers have been abandoned here, and now we're going to different. Who's in charge? There always has to be some kind of order. There has to be. You just can't have a run amok. You just can't. You can't. You got to have some sort of system set up and in place. I would imagine. Mendelakan, am I right or wrong?
Let me say this.
To have some.
Let me ask you a first question.
Go ahead.
You say who's in charge? Who's in charge is your question. Whoever you pay taxes to are in charge. That's the answer to your question.
But will there be
whoever
taxes?
you pay
taxes?
Well,
okay,
let me
what type of
right
tax
now.
system would there be? There's a system of government here that has to be set up.
No, but look, but why does there have to be a tax system? Well, I'm going to let you in, Mendelakan, but why does there have to be a tax system? When this nation was established, it had no tax system. The whole reason why it was established to get rid of the tax system. That's why the United States was established, to get rid of the tax system that Great Britain had. At least that's the story that we're told, to break away from their tax system. So we broke away from their tax system just to come up with our own tax system. My point is simple. Okay. We get rid of paying taxes so you can be free. And that's all. I'm done.
Okay. Now,
go ahead, Mendelakan. Go ahead.
Here's where I want you to go back to what both of you said, starting with this country was founded on immigrants. Okay? But before it was founded, there were free, sovereign, independent people here before these immigrants who set up this Ponzi scheme where whatever they agreed on, the contract, you call it the Federal Reserve, the IMF, World Bank, none of that was there until slavery. It took slavery to set up the international cartel of a political economy. And by the way, geniuses, there was no woman at the table at all when this genocide and atrocities of the theft of the land was taking place. It was put in place by some international travelers who traveled across international waters and set up this 250-year failed experiment. And this is one of the newest experiments that didn't have the longevity that other dynasties had thousands of years. There were dynasties that I can go back in history and show you there were thousands of years of dynasties, and this thing here will not last because you said it your own self. What about taxes? Well, England had the taxes. They taxed y'all who came over here, and then y'all said you weren't going to pay England no more. So you used me, my people, my spoils, and our land to set up your same identical Ponzi scheme, saying that now I'm the eagle, I'm omnipresent, omnipotent, omnipresent, and I got the power of life and death over the world with the atomic bomb, right? So now you think that you can use your weapons to extort, bribe, and force we the people, whether we black, brown, red, yellow, white, old, young, gay, straight, like, if we work, we might work and we get a check on one side and say $1,000. By the time we go to cash it, wherever it says, it say $550 or $600. So what does that mean? That means some thief that didn't have a black robe or a white robe over his head with a shotgun, he stole our wealth and put it into a system. Some of it might be Social Security, some of it might be your birth certificate, some of it might be your Social Security card, but yet when it comes to the interest and the rates, who gets that money? They do. They rape the people's treasury. Those tyrants have to be arrested, and there's not a whole bunch of them. I don't care if they sit in the legislature, local, county, city, state, and federal, as you give them their titles, they are still the minority. And I'm telling you, we are getting the worst bang for our buck, every last one of us. For instance, if you see something that you need in your municipality, in your county, can you go to what they call it, the finance committee, and say, well, look, we need some houses over here. We need some water over here. We need this. They're going to tell you the first thing, they're going to put their hand on their chest and swear to Bible, look, we have no appropriations. We have no allocations. We have no budgets. But that's a damn lie. Why? Because we know taxation without representation, they're taking our tax dollars. They're using them for what they want to keep us under subjugation, slavery, oppression, and exploitation. So when they tell us that they don't have no budgets to serve the people, they're guilty of perjury, sedition, insubordination, and treason. They have no right to be sitting in those seats to govern over us because first we have constituents, and then we have representatives. Those things, those creatures that you're honoring in that illegal contract, because there was no women at the table, let alone a white woman. There was no indigenous, no African, or no people of color at the table. It was all white men who set up these Ponzi schemes. So when you're looking at the bloodless revolution of the matriarch, all we're doing is recalling the articles and assets that the entitlers of the inheritances, all that stolen legacy, has to be returned back into the people. Now you say, well, they ain't gonna do it. Okay, I'll go with you with that. They ain't gonna do it. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. They're gonna do it because they won't have no choice. And when it comes to capitalism based on imperialism, that's got to be destroyed. It's got to be destroyed. Why? Because it's born off slavery, oppression, exploitation, war, and rape. Rape of the people and rape of the land that does not belong to any group or gathering. When the final analysis, we're going to have, like Doctors Without Borders, will be people once again without borders. People without borders. And the people will be the government because the government is not the people. The people are the government, and the government is not the people. And I can't say it in clear. It's a failed experiment, only lasts 250 years. Now it's a fight back and pushback from the people itself. So they know they lost, but they're trying to figure out how can they create a civil war, how can they create a revolutionary war, how can they create some more genocide under a race war, and it's not going to happen. So I rest their case right there.
All right, yeah, people for the people, by the people. That's the type of system we want. Brother Tone is on, I believe, but before I connect, well, actually, Dr. Ventura had his chance. I'll connect him in a minute. I believe Brother Tone wants to jump into this conversation. I believe, and please press 1. Anybody wants to jump in. Tone, welcome to the program. Long time no talk. How you doing, brother?
Good. How about you, brother?
We're doing all right. Mendelakan is hosting the show. I'm only manning the telephone lines. So, Mendelakan, if you want to address any question to him or ask him the topic of the program, do that. He's in charge tonight. He's brought his network over here. He's in charge.
Why doesn't he ask me a question?
I don't think he wants. I think he's just laying out a plan. All right. Well, Mendelakan, we got Tone on the program here. You called in, Tone. So what's on your mind tonight, Tone? Talk to us. And then Mendelakan, it's your show, so you handle the caller. Go ahead.
Mendelakan, did you want to ask me a question, or I can actually tell you what's on my mind?
Well, do you know what tonight's subject is, first and foremost?
No, brother. I'm on the other side of the world right now, so I just started tuning in about a couple minutes ago, but I've been listening to you talk, which I couldn't say I don't disagree with you too much.
Well, I have my co-host, which is the daughter of the matriarch, Aksheda Veda, who can contest that there are 11 million women in this country that don't like what's going on, and I'm here to recall the total revolutionary revelation of the matriarch. So we've been talking about how to transition this power through a bloodless revolution. Not saying that some people are not going to lose their lives, but once the transition is complete, the wars and the death penalty and all that capital punishment will be over. But right now, we're putting on the table, organizing the people in place, because we know that no one is going to threaten, jail, or kill the people from their birthright. So in other words, we're not going to pray, shoot, vote, or go to school to get the results we need. However, there may be some instruments of interaction, but we're not here to dictate that. We're only here to help get the people out. So we're not here to go in on each other. We're here to put what the solution that we say as an individual, as a committee of one, on behalf of the committee of the whole, what would you say would be a solution to get not only, where are you at? You say you're not in this country, but we want to say what would be the solution to get America out of the problem as well as the people of the world. So where are you at, Tone?
I'd rather not say right now. I'm kind of traveling.
Okay, well, just go on and speak to what you need to speak to. That's all right. Just speak to what, or whatever you want to say. Go ahead.
Sure. This is the way I feel. I believe that a lot of people in this country right now who are claiming that they want, or not claiming, that they're establishing that they want a wall, which I can understand their point, but they already built up a wall of even listening to another side of view. They are so opinionated that no matter what happens to their God Trump, there's no listening. They will just say, for an example, evolution, global warming, Trump's sexual contacts, the collusion with Russia. I mean, how much more do you want to put on somebody? Yet people turn around and worship this guy. I mean, I have never seen a human being be treated more like a god than Trump. And I think that that's one step. And on the other side, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of people that are angry right now. And, you know, they call for gun reform. They don't want to ask any questions. They don't want to talk about gun reform. They don't even want to listen about guns. And it's ridiculous. So I think the biggest problem in our country right now is nobody thinks for themselves, tells everybody what to think. The other side, the left, is just a hodgepodge of many different groups, whether it be Black Lives Matter, Antifa, and so on and so forth. Those are kind of the big ones that the news talks about. But for at this point right now, I really believe us as a people need to turn around and say, hey, maybe I'm not just doing everything right. Maybe I'm not the smart person that I think I am, that I'm right in everything. They're just reaffirmed by their family and friends with the exact same ideas that were put on them. So how can you fight that? They can't listen. So that's what my big solution would be, listening.
Well, don't
but Mendelakan's talking. Yeah, hang on, Mendelakan, hang on. Just let me interject since I'm a guest here too now. Tone, Mendelakan's talking about another form way, a revolution for the people, by the people, where this new world order, the system we have now, ever since the beginning, has not worked. The Messianic order. He's talking about the patriarch. He wants to bring, Mother Earth, the mothers out there, why there are no women in charge. He wants to bring apart another type of form of system. I think that's where you missed in the beginning. But I may be wrong here, but go ahead, go ahead, Tone. I'm sorry.
I'm
go ahead.
a feminist myself. I believe that women should be in charge of a lot more in this country. And I think at this point right now we're watching it happen. It can't happen overnight. Right now you have women that are graduating at an alarming rate through just different colleges and everything. So I think it's great for
So you believe there should be no due process like there is? This is another show actually we're going to talk about. You're telling me if a woman says, hey, this guy ran his hands up my skirt and there's no trial, he should automatically be condemned and the guy should lose his job and his career just because the woman made an accusation? I mean, so you're saying this is good? This is good?
Whoever said that? You're bringing up something totally different.
That's what's happening today, Tone. That's what's happening today, Tone. And we need due process. I mean, if the People's Revolution doesn't have a due process clause in it, yes. Well, there's no due process.
So what are women supposed to do? Just get felt up and not say anything?
They make a complaint and there's an investigation made. There's an investigation made. That's what happens. And how would the People's Revolution handle? Hang on, no, this is an interesting tone. Hang on. If we have this new system and the People's Revolution, the matriarch, the Pan Am Network takes over, just say we have a new system set up. How would something like this be handled with a Mendelakan, if you don't mind? Because
let me do this, please.
There has to be a formal government. Go ahead, Mendelakan. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm going to go back to where Tone was because we're more in common than throwing a little monkey wrench in there that's really an insignificant discussion. He said two things that was very powerful and important. That someone wants to build a wall. Let me take you back to grade school. Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men cannot put Humpty together again. There ain't going to be no wall in the Americas. And I'll tell you why. Go back 8 years before this guy got into the white people's house. I'll say the white people's house because this guy was a black guy, supposedly, that went into white people's house, right? Now, look what happened. The greatest atrocity, the threat on the human life all across the world happened under this guy's watch. And he was an idol worship guy, just like Donald Trump. Tone, you said that so many people love this guy, Donald Trump, but the same was said for this guy, Barack Insane Obama. I mean, you American people, as you went to the ballot, all you're doing is the latest American version of idol worshiping. But you're not idling yourselves. You're not idolizing each other. And that's the deal. you see. This is a people's government, a committee of one on behalf of the committee of the whole, which will veto and override this image of who we see as our representatives. Those beasts, those gargoyles, those creatures are not the people's representatives, and they must be arrested. If not, they must flee back to their mother country. And I don't care if you're from Puerto Rico, from Jamaica, or Haiti, or whatever. If you're not going to honor the matriarch, you're done. And that's the way it's going to deal, because I told you don't know the majority of people on the planet Earth. I've already put it out there. But the fact of the matter is the majority of people on the planet Earth are women. And with the children, the old folks, and the men who will stand with the women, that's a super majority. So we're going to vote in the streets with our feet and install the people's government without this backdoor politicking, this Ponzi scheme of you're going to read the chads and we're going to see who's eligible. If you're a felon, then you can't know. If I have to have sustenance to live in any local county, city, state, and federal or international municipality, if I don't have the most access to water, food, clothing, shelter, healthcare, protection, and communication, I'm not representative. And I'm saying that there's not a government on the planet that represents the people. I don't care if it's a government in Africa, the continent, or if it's a government in England, or a government in China or Russia. There is no government today that represents the people. Why? Because the people are the government and the government's not the people. So when you look at the resources that's being sucked out and vacuumed out in a competition of arms control, gun control, social control, birth control, crowd control, that is the Masonic order of the patriarch. We're in a valley of decision, and this time we have to be right, because we can't go on killing, lying, stealing, and killing when the mothers are witnessing their families being destroyed by these so-called governments that men represent. And let me just put this on the Capitol. They had a woman named Margaret Thatcher that became the Prime Minister of England. Let me tell you why Hillary Clinton couldn't become president, because this is a Masonic patriarchal society. They would have voted for Casper the Friendly Ghost to sit in the White House before Hillary, because this is not a matriarch. Even though Hillary's not a matriarch, she's a patriarchal daughter, one of the tyrants. But the fact is, even white women could not stand Hillary Clinton being in the White House, because commander-in-chief, in the mind control of ourselves, we think the commander-in-chief is supposed to be a man. We honestly believe that over here. So there wasn't going to be no Margaret Thatcher. And by the way, if there's any woman that could sit in the White House in the next 4 to 8 years, her name would be, her name, Michelle Obama, right? But that's not even going to happen. So, you done said a lot. I just wanted to put that in there because you got to think different than what we thought before. All of what we thought before is wrong, and y'all know it's wrong, but you can't keep it. It has to be destroyed. The only way to destroy it is by establishing what must be. Establishing what must be alone will abolish what we see, because the superior numbers will veto and override that from the minority. So, Tone or anybody else?
Mendelakan, just before you continue on, I just want to say, guys out there, I don't screen callers. You're on Understanding the Times in which you live in today. We do have a full call screen up there. If you have trouble getting through, I apologize. Press 1, and I don't screen you. I don't ask, hey, what's your name? What do you want to talk about? You're 100% live. I connect you live. Okay, so I just want to let everyone know that.
I see the video. Do you have anything you'd like to add at this time?
I did want to speak to what Tone was saying about the mental capacity of the community. Could you restate what you said? Because there was a lot of information that was just put out there after you made that comment.
Actually, Tone, the call lines are jammed. He got booted off. We got too many people on the line tonight, guys. If you want to jump in, press 1, please. I know everyone wants to listen. We're full. Tone's not here right now, but he is listening in the chat. So go ahead and just talk, Activator. Go ahead, please.
Okay, it's Akshita, and so
Arshida. I'm sorry, Arshida. I apologize.
Just when it goes back to what I said earlier about the deprogramming and the reprogramming, right now we all suffer from a form of temporary insanity because of all the belief systems that we have been under, starting with the religious teachings and, not really identifying with it personally, but what's being taught and continue to be taught, and then believing that we were slaves, or, that slavery did happen, but it wasn't what it was all said to be. And so the reprogramming is to remember that first, we are so much more. And so I wanted to hear what he had to say, really, so I could really speak to what he said. And so that's all I have right now. I would like someone else to come on and share their thoughts about things.
I would too. I would like. Maybe they're having trouble. I don't know. You got to press 1, guys. Like I said, I don't screen callers. So if you're nervous or you can't get through, maybe I should just open everybody up. I don't know what to do, Mendelakan, because the lines are packed. You brought quite a crowd here, Mendelakan. I mean, usually my lines are full, but not like tonight. But how about this? Let me try getting Dr. Peter Ventura one time, because I know he and Mendelakan went at it, and we can have an interesting conversation there. Hang on.
Well, we don't want to focus on going in on nobody. I thought that was already clear.
No. I just want to bring on the People's Revolution, Dr. Peter Ventura. I just want to get his opinion on this, because we've spoken on this several times already, and he brings an interesting. Hang on. He brings an interesting point to the program, actually. So hopefully he'll answer. He is in Imperial Beach, California. They got a lot of fires going on out there.
Right.
Hello? Oh, well, maybe not. I don't know. I know we're jammed up here on the call lines, and they got the California fires out there are screwing me up. I tried calling them earlier today, and we need to pray for those people out there, because a lot of people are in danger. Those California fires are really serious in what's going on in Los Angeles County right now. So, really that's we really need. I can't get them right now. I'll try again in about 20 minutes. But Mendelakan, go ahead, Mendelakan. I'm sorry. Oh wait, we got another anonymous caller here. Hang on, Mendelakan. I'm going to connect them. So you got another caller here. And guys, please press 1. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. Our lines are full. We want to hear what you have to talk about. So, Anonymous, go ahead. Hello.
Yes, hello. This is Charles.
Hello.
CJ.
Yes,
hello?
We're here. Go ahead. Yes, we're here. You're unmuted. Go ahead. You're live.
All right. I was just here basically because I wanted to touch on the topic on because I understand that from what has been taught, that has been it messed up the minds of our people in particular. I feel the way that that can be, that we can not mentally but physically heal ourselves is by simply turning away from it, and we have to turn away from the dollar, because to understand how much value that we are more valuable than a piece of paper, and I feel like that would give us a chance to not just build around our communities, but build the youth, and that is the best way that we can be able to take our power back.
I agree with you.
So you believe economic conditions are really the primary concern and challenge that people have today? Because I stated this earlier, if everyone remembers, maybe you weren't on the line, anonymous caller, and like I said, I don't screen callers, so I'm glad you called in anonymous. That's okay. But I brought this up earlier, money, the economic conditions. This is mainly the most important factor that a lot of people deal with. They don't want to pick up a gun and shoot anybody and go to war. They want to provide for their families. They want to provide for themselves. And if we don't have any jobs and people aren't guaranteed the same opportunity as everyone else is guaranteed, and that was my question to Mendelakan with the revolution, the People's Revolution. When you have a revolution, what happens? You got to start from the bottom up. the infrastructure gets destroyed. And you got to start. So people will be afraid of that, actually. They will be afraid of that.
Can I say something real quick?
Anonymous.
Can I say something real
Go
quick?
ahead, Brother Mercy.
Hold on, excuse me. Hold on, Brother Mercy. Hold on. We got a caller on the floor, and he has not been engaged, and you'll get another opportunity. But what he's saying is so relevant, and it needs to be brought back to the host and the co-host on behalf of the people's bloodless revolution.
Okay, you're right, Mendelakan. I apologize. You're right. You're right, Mendelakan. It's your show.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So, anonymous caller, it's Charles. What city or state are you in?
I'm in Minnesota.
Minnesota. All right. You have a local board of directors that rules over the people. And if you notice, the people go doing whatever they do every day, and behind closed doors, a few people vote on the appropriations and allocations of our piggy bank. I'm talking about us, the people. You say our people, and you may not have put it clear on who our people is, but let me tell you who our people of the bloodless revolution is. That's all the people who are taxed by these tyrants. They are appropriating and allocating our piggy bank to their own ambition. They are borrowing, stealing, and taking the money to do what they choose against our aims and aspirations. So when you look at setting up a economical revolution, it's not going to happen until we overturn those who control what they stole. They stole our bank, and they're doing what they want to do with it against our will, because you have can't take nobody up in city council in Minnesota and say, well, look, I got a project here to help the youth, and we need $200,000. I done said it before. They're going to look at you like you're crazy. Who are you to come in here and say that you need some funding, and then they have a finance committee? And if you look at the state capital budgets, every state got a capital budget. We're not at those meetings. We're not at the local city civic meetings when it comes to them meeting on how they're going to appropriate, allocate the funding. We out doing a whole bunch of other stuff, barbecuing, putting up Christmas trees, Thanksgiving. We're doing a whole bunch of other stuff, going to parties, having sex. So the key is that our submission gives those minority permission. So what has to be done, people have to organize, and then as a group, challenge these people who are sitting in these finance committees telling us that we have no budgets, we have no appropriations, we have no allocations, because not only that, we pay their salaries, and they steal our treasury, our piggy bank, to do what the hell they want. And that is why we are saying we're going to have to do something that we've never done before. Can you relate with that, Charles?
I can definitely relate to exactly what you're saying. We don't have to do it has never been done, because that's the best way to dwell.
Thank you so much. Keep your line open. If you want to get in, you can get in again. I heard Brother Mercy, you were saying something you want to get in there on. Go ahead.
Yeah, what I was going to say is the whole reason why the tax system in this country was started. It was because the soldiers, the American Army, needed money to fight Great Britain, because the soldiers would not fight for free. This is a beautiful part of history. The American government wanted freedom from Great Britain, so in order to overthrow them, they needed an army. And the people in the army said, we're not fighting for you unless you pay us. So they started what they said would be a temporary tax, let me stress temporary, tax system to pay the soldiers, okay? No, not to go on vacation, not whatever, but to pay the soldiers to fight against Great Britain. So what is Brother Mercy saying? The war in Great Britain is over. It's over, guys. It's over. It's been over for a long time. My point is this. Why are you still charging me taxes for a war that's over? And right now, America is not here. And see, this is why this country have to fight wars. If they continue to fight wars, they're going to need a budget to fight that war, so that way we have taxes. But my thing is this. right now we're technically not at war, so we should not be paying taxes. That's my point.
Okay, let me respond to that. You said technically. However, that's not true. If you look at all the military bases that America finances, that we the people finance, all across the planet, there are hundreds of those outposts to keep what was stolen from the people where they got these bases at today, right? So what I'm saying to you is that the wars, yes, that was the original thing that brought all of this taxation on the people. However, in the consequence of them setting up their Ponzi scheme of the UCC, that circumvented the people and their right for representation on their taxes. So in other words, we don't have no representation. The only thing you can do is say, well, I'm going to get $40,000 for college, GI Bill, if I go kill people who ain't never put me in slavery, who ain't never put me in jail or threatened to cut my lights off.
Mendelakan, I got another caller. Mendelakan, just not to interrupt you, I got another caller here, private caller. So whenever you're ready, I'll take the call.
We definitely want to honor that now. We want to honor that right away.
All right, here we go. Private caller, go ahead. Welcome to the program, Unscreened. Go ahead, you're live.
Hetapoo, my most noble, high Supreme Commander, Honorable Brother Mendelakan, Honorable Brother Joe Gibson, and all the family friends. I am Angel, Lady Love, listener, inspirer, friend, emissary. I can't talk long because I'm on a second-minute phone. We're being duped while all these people are playing games with their pants and zippers. They are shutting people's telephones off, electricity. They're putting these smart meters. I want to give those coordinates because a man about 3 weeks ago said he was going to tamper something with his meter. Do not do that because these are their very products. But we had a big fire here. If you can look it up, 2nd and South Street. That definitively were 3 smart meters in that basement, AMIs, alternative metering infrastructure. They explode. The batteries explode. These cell phones are, especially fiber optics from Verizon and Comcast, their batteries explode. When the electricity shuts off, those phones shut off. And this year, my neighbors that had fiber optics and Comcast, when the electricity shut off for the neighborhood, none of the telephones connected. And they're supposed to have a backup of 8 hours with batteries. All batteries explode. And they're causing fires. StopSmartMeters.org, RefuseSmartMeters.com, Say No to SmartMeters.com, SmartMetersEducationNetwork.com, and I'm not saying this, but it's something that says SmartMetersMurder.com. Also, we have the fires all in California. They're lying. This is from hydraulic fracking. And I can give more details. EarthJustice.org, JUSTICE.org, as well as all of these. When just as recent as it was this past weekend, Georgia had snowstorm and electricity was out, over 400,000 people. And in North Carolina, we've got to wake up. These are mankind-made, manipulated weather patterns. We do have help from the higher dimensions, if you will. I call them my 4th and 5th dimensional brotherhood, sisterhood. They do make the weather. You will see what some people misnomer as contrails or chemtrails. The chemtrails would not be of the higher order. That would be mankind, womankind. Their time is up. But more emphatically, foodandwaterwatch.org. Our food is messed up. Our children are eating microwave food. Look up the security panels, not only at the airport and in governmental agencies, every store we're going to, and then I found some documents, I had it all the time, Target stores, all of these are targeting all of us. And the hacking of every computer. In the Black's Law Dictionary, it clearly says that public utilities are monopolies, but they're necessities. Anything that's a necessity is necessary. Anything necessary is absolutely essential. Then why do they shut people off? They're using excessive force, reckless endangerment. When especially in Philadelphia, the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, they're violating House Bill 2200, Act 129 of the year 2008. It clearly says customer consent. It says it on the Q&A of the double-sided Public Utility Commission Q&A, question and answer about smart meters, the fourth paragraph on the first page, customer consent. That correlates with our Declaration of Independence, which is a ratified law. They use my tenets. It clearly says, when one reads beyond the preamble, consent of the governed. That's we the people. These people use my tenets, and they're now using all of our laws against us. That was not a Revolutionary War. In Philly, in fact, this year, when our Revolutionary Museum was supposed to open, it had a flood. I say that's a spiritual variable because that Revolutionary War was a civil war. They were fighting over my coastal borders. Add that to the fact they went on to say and call me a savage in that very document. But I consider the source. They brought all these lead bullets here. They're supposed to stop presenting them for purchase next year. But I'm telling you, under MayoClinic.org, lead poisoning causes libido and mental instability for adults, and it's passed on to their born and unborn children. All of these wireless, look it up. I have it in definitive writing. It is no longer a question. All the real epidemic is sugar diabetes. All of this wireless causes our temperature to rise and increase the glucose levels. And add that to the fact, I have more documents. I have it in writing about the Wi-Fi, and our children are getting paralyzed. Children's Hospital noted about 5 months ago on WPVI, that's a local ABC station in Philadelphia, that they've noticed since 2014, and they mostly showed all these Caucasian children. By the time they turn 3, they're getting paralyzed. And why would someone wonder?
Put the deep breath.
I don't have time. I'm about to get off the phone because I only have 1 minute. I'll hang up then.
Listen. I'll tell you what. Okay, that's a good.
No, don't hang up. Don't hang up. Hang on. No, she's got a lot of good points. This is another way that the system has control over the people, Mendelakan. Actually, this is very important because the food, the chemicals. You know what I mean? So go ahead.
Okay,
go ahead, but it's your show. Go ahead.
And the people, thank you real quick, because I've tried to come on for the past several weeks. I don't have a phone anymore.
Pardon me, if I may.
All right.
We don't know how much longer we have.
Thank you.
I have a guest, Aksida Veda, who is the guest, right? And before we go, we're here to organize the people in place, and we're trying to overturn everything that you're saying because it's happening to everybody from Maine to Florida, Washington State to California. However, we're here to get the people out. So whatever they are doing, that's okay. But what we're here for is to put the proper administration and authority in place to organize to overturn what you are talking about. So without further ado,
may I say something to the women on the phone? May I say this to the women on the phone? Because in the 1950s, they told women when they're pregnant, do not get an X-ray.
I need to know how much time.
Let's keep control.
Okay, Joe. I need to know.
We got about 27 minutes. 27 minutes
okay.
left, according
to
27 minutes.
If that's the case, okay. Well, Angel Lady Love, you go ahead and wrap it up, so I can bring Aksida Veda back to the line.
Angel Lady Love, take 1 minute. Yeah. Angel Lady Love, take 1 minute. Go ahead.
Please listen to the URLs I gave. This is what's making everyone impatient. All of these cell phones, iPhones, iPads, I was trained in the late 60s, early 70s. It's called subliminal seduction, but more emphatically, it's a form of hypnotism. You men have certain women, you hate the sound of their voice or something triggers you. All of this marijuana is causing men to become effeminate. It causes both men and women to get breast cancer. In the 70s, they just said it caused men to get gynecomastia. Now they say it totally. The soy lecithin is all your breads, all of your lotions. The skin is the largest organ of the body. This is an agenda, and I can give more details. The key here is all these, what they call ultrasound is a real-time X-ray, and they used to tell pregnant women.
Background noise, everybody. All right, Angel Lady Love. Okay, 1 minute. I gave you 1 minute. Listen, your knowledge is impeccable, yes, and you need to call in, and I need to get you on to do your own show.
I can't. I gotta get off the phone because I only have a minute phone. Okay, thanks a lot. Bye.
Okay. All right. God bless. Take care. Okay. Good. Okay. All right. Well. All right. Mendelakan. I just real quick. Hang on. Another caller here. Bitbanker, I know you can coordinate a little bit here. I'm hoping Bitbanker, a couple of my supporters here, will chew in tonight before we lose it. But before we get back to the program here, Mendelakan, who is the host, I want to try one more time for Dr. Peter Ventura because I believe that this is very important to what we're speaking about tonight. And Dr. Peter Ventura has been hard to get a hold of because of the California fires. The cell phones are, I don't know what's going on out there, but hopefully right now I can get them. So just give me 1 minute. If I can't get them now, then we won't try again, okay? So let's just try real quick here.
Hello?
And then Mendelakan, yes, Dr. Peter Ventura, I finally got you. Thank you. Can you spare a few minutes? I've got Mendelakan. He's hosting my program on tonight, and we're talking about a revolution here. You know, the People's Revolution, where he talks about Mother Earth and everything. And we've got this show has more callers than actually a lot of shows I've done. I mean, I'm not saying it's the most popular show, but it's getting close to that with the callers and plus the chat room. So you have a huge audience right now. And what Mendelakan is stating here is that the people here, by the people, for the people, we have a country that we're living in right now that isn't for the people and by the people. And he's talking about, women who populate the earth more than men. Why don't they have more power over men? And blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? We've been over this before. Can you tell us, Dr. Peter Ventura, real quick, and then maybe converse with Mendelakan for at least 10 minutes, at least give me 10 minutes of your time, why this United States is in the situation it's in now and why we are in the situation we're in now, and if a people's revolution, last question, if a people's revolution was to overtake the people's, the matriarch, the Pan Am network here that we've been talking about, why not have a better way of living in this country and this world? I mean, obviously the system we have now is broken. It's screwed up. I mean, you can see what's going on. I mean, why not? What's wrong with the people replacing the Constitution that we have now? Because the Constitution calls for the people to replace a government when it's corrupt. So as a pastor and as a man of God, a pastor who has one belief, he believes in Jesus Christ. I don't know where Mendelakan stands on that, but he believes that the women should be in charge of the world. They should have the place in the matriarch, So why isn't the woman in charge? Why isn't the woman in charge? Why is the woman, stepped upon today? And we're seeing something happen right now before I shut up. We're watching the women around the world speak up and take control. We're seeing this. We're seeing it. So is Mendelakan's revolution coming right before our eyes right now? Are the women starting to take control and telling the man what to? I mean, men's careers are being ruined right before our very eyes. Dr. Ventura, go ahead, because you've discussed this before. So go ahead, take a couple minutes, and then Mendelakan, and then maybe our co-host tonight. And we got many people on the line, but go ahead, Dr. Ventura, go ahead.
You're kind of fading in and out, but there is a prophecy, and the prophecy says that your women in the end times, before the return of Christ, your women will rule over you, and your children will oppress you.
Okay. All right. And I lost Dr. Ventura. I lost him. He got bumped off. So, Mendelakan, that prophecy, what do you got to say about that? And speak while I try to reconnect Dr. Ventura. Go ahead. And that's from his Bible, actually.
What I have to say about it is that we have the transition of power taking place in social media. All the books.
Hang on, Dr. Ventura. Dr. Ventura, hang on. That's his background noise there. I don't know what the hell he's doing. All right, Dr. Ventura. All right, yeah, he's playing games. Okay, go ahead, Mendelakan. Obviously, the pastor doesn't want to answer the question because you got him. You got him. You got him, like you always say. You got him. You got him. I'm beginning to really believe you got him. Go ahead, Mendelakan. You got the pastor. Go ahead. Stick it to him.
Well,
talk to me,
well,
Mendelakan.
I want to say this to anyone who has the Bible, Torah, and the Quran, man or woman, anyone under the Masonic order of the patriarch, here's where you got yourselves in trouble. But now the mothers are here to get us out. They say there's a Holy Trinity. And every time I talk to one of these guys from Hebrew Israelites, Moors, Muslims, or Christians, they might mention that, well, look, woman, it says this in the book, in the prophecy, the book, yeah, the woman, yeah. But see, that's not what I'm talking about. The Holy Trinity that got everybody in the rape and killing from the men, black and white, says that it's the Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. The Father, Son, the Holy Spirit. Now, if you look at that properly, you don't have to be Ray Charles, Stevie Wonder, Helen Keller, or Jose Feliciano. If you just listen to those words, what's missing in that equation? That's history, but what's missing is her story. Her story is the stolen legacy that's been hidden, put in absentia and idle. They could never abolish it. It was just hidden, put in absentia and idle because they hid the real Holy Trinity. What is the real Holy Trinity? The mother, father, and child. Most children born from the past to now are not boys. I repeat, most children born from the past to now are not boys. That's why we can see the super majority with the women, children, old folks, and the men who stand with them. Even without the old folks and the children, the majority of people on the planet Earth are women.
Hang on, Mendelakan, I just want to let you know before you finish, I have to interrupt. I told you I'd do this. Area code 512. They pressed 1. They want to talk. So go ahead and finish your point. Go ahead, and then I'll connect them.
Well, we want to connect them right away. The thing is that the true Holy Trinity is the mother, father, and child. The mother is the creator, the fathers are the saviors, and the children are the builders of our new tomorrow. That's why they always say that song that I believe the children are our future, let them guide and lead the way. Even those books say at the end times of the rule of the wicked, the children, and remember, I'm Malachi, the children of the corn, and you remember that movie, in the children of the corn, it showed that where the children are going to take over, but in that movie, it had the Hollywood thing that where the children was going to kill all the elderly. But we're saying that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. But there is going to be a transition of power through the proper Holy Trinity under the leadership of the mother, the father, and the children who want a new day. So let's get this new caller in here.
Yeah, let's get this new caller. But before I do, I just want to say Dr. Peter Ventura, he's a cracker joke. That's what he is. He's a 501c3 puppet. That's what he is. And I've called him out on that, and that's what you are, Dr. Peter Ventura. You're a 501c3 puppet working for the government. You take your trips around the country stealing the money out of the church every week to smoke cigarettes and drive around the country. That's what you are, Dr. Peter Ventura. You're a cracker. Okay. All right. 512. Go ahead.
Hello?
512. Welcome to the program. Yes, 512. You're on the program. Go ahead.
Oh, hi. How you doing? You can hear me now?
Yes.
I can hear you fine. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. First of all, I would like to say thank you for allowing me to be a part of this talk show tonight. I think it's great. It's a lot of great information. Now, you said we could talk about anything, so I would just like to talk about some things I have been learning. I mean, I hear all the concerns about what's going on. However, we have so much information inside of our DNA, inside of our cells. I would like for everyone to start researching your own DNA. I believe we need to research the truth about why we are actually here. where we came from, and what our purpose is. I believe if we could put all our differences aside, that we was taught to be in this physical realm to go against one another, and if we all come together with one purpose as such as love or just freedom, I believe the majority of us will be in this together, where we could love our neighbors, love one another, accept one another, be there for one another, and help one another. Now, I hear a lot of things about politics that's going on tonight. However, I believe those politics and everybody that's out there causing this weather, the fires and everything, I believe they are here to do just that. So instead of us saying, what can we do about it, I feel that the answer is inside of us, and I wish there was a way we could all just come together on one accord and say, hey, let's just share love. Let's just help one another. Let's just give to one another. Now, if this is not the right thing to do, I'm not sure, but I'm so glad I got a chance to share with all of you. So thank you all for your time. You all so amazing, and whatever I could do to help out, I am here.
Well,
you're here, and I won't
say thank you.
I see the video. Would you
I would
please
like to
respond
say
to that?
thank
Give
you.
your contact information, give your coordinates so that you and those that's listening can contact you, tell them where you are, and so forth and so on. Also tell them about what you were talking about as we come together, how we're going to unify. That's the first thing. And then before you finish, put out your contact information so that those that listen can contact you, since you are one of not one, you are the chosen daughter of the matriarch to organize all the other women who feel just like you. So go ahead.
Okay,
Absolutely.
my name is Ruby. My name is Ruby. I go by Ruby, and my phone number is 512-699.
No, not your number, just your Facebook.
No.
Oh.
Not you.
Oh.
Not you, Miss.
I don't really use Facebook, but I could give you my email contact.
No, I'm gonna give you my information.
No. Mendelakan.
No, sorry, I misunderstood.
The co-host.
This was the
I'll give you my information.
Miss Ruby, hold on, don't give no information. This is for Alcida Beta to show her and tell her how we're going to unify. And before you finish, because we're winding down, let the audience know your contact information, Alcida Beta, how they can contact you.
Oh,
very good.
Well, you could contact me on Facebook. I'm under Rise and Power Burdett.
Excuse me. How you doing, Ruby?
No, the co-host. The co-host of the program.
I'll be quiet right quick. I'm just so excited. It's nice to be in contact with all of you. I'll be quiet and listen.
Ruby, your energy is beautiful. Your energy is beautiful, and you are absolutely right. I did want to say to you that, yes, the answer is within us, and love is the answer. You are absolutely right. You're on point with that, because, see, that's what we're all missing. We walk around all day, growing up looking for love, and we begin to look for love in all the wrong places. So when we do begin to look within ourselves, we begin to heal, and then we begin to love ourselves, and we don't look for that love from the outside anymore. So bringing this concept together as women, together we begin to heal each other with love, through love. And so coming together under red, black, and green, bringing the total recall of the matriarch is all through love. And this is how we're going to heal, by bringing our children into it. They are our legacy. So we mothers as creators, and the fathers and the men as saviors and protectors, are going to raise up our children to be the builders of our future, where we can, what we're doing, the work that we're going to put forth now is not for us, it's for them. So
yes, ma'am.
This is just us coming together. So, yes, your energy is lovely, and you're absolutely on point. The answer is within, and it is going to be through love. And so,
and we need to grow our own food, and we need to save our own seeds. We need to grow our own food. We need to save seeds, grow our own food. We could do it. If we grow our own food, if we believe in ourselves, and if we live according to our DNA pathways, then we will overcome what is going on right now on our earth. Our earth is in a lot of trouble. It's a lot of things happening. And if we cannot raise that vibration of love, then we're going to have to go through this all over again. I don't want to go through this no more. I want us to just come together in freedom. Yes, baby.
Yes,
I'm
Ruby.
sorry.
Yes, Ruby. No, you are on point. We're having a conversation here, and you are absolutely on point. Yes. Yes, everything you just said. And so this is where, we mothers begin to see who we are and begin to see past this physical body and know that when we begin to act out as far as who we are in our DNA, then we can stand up and take our place, and men will begin to respect us in the manner that they should. We say we want this. They go out and they work for it and they get it and they bring it to us. They deliver it to us. So this is where we're going in the matriarch. So my name is
one other
Theta.
thing. One more thing I got to say is we create our own reality. So a lot of times in my last 20 years of living, I grew up in the hood. I'm still living in the hood. I've seen people call each other hoes, bitches, niggas. You ain't shit. You ain't about shit.
Yeah.
All that did was destroy us. We got to start lifting each other up. We got to start encouraging each other, and we got to speak those things as if they are. That's going to help us.
That's right, and so I speak a lot. I do speak a lot on these. I speak a lot on these topics, just in general, because these are things that we don't talk about enough. So I'm glad that you brought that up, because you're absolutely right. This is the time where we begin to uplift one another and stop looking at each other with jealousy and envy and all these other things.
Yes, ma'am.
I was listening to a lesson teaching the other day, and just as things are different in nature, we can look out and see the difference in everything that's going on around us. Yet we don't see these different things in nature judging one another. Yet we as humans judge each other because we're different. We came this way. This is how we came here. This is who we are.
Right.
So if we learn to appreciate ourselves just for who we are, and then appreciate others just for who they are, we can come together in love.
Okay, listen, I need to interrupt Mendelakan real quick, because since we're running short on time, I'm going to give everyone 2 minutes to wrap up the program. But before I do, and I start with you, Mendelakan, and then we'll go down the line here. And Anonymous, 443, Brother Mercy, Mendelakan. Listen, next Thursday, why don't we do this again? Tell a friend. Bring it to the program next Thursday, 6 p.m., 2 hours. Mendelakan can host the program again. He can have the program, and we can get this information out there. We can bring this knowledge and information out there. Let's do it. 6 p.m., next Thursday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Call-in number will be 657-383-0616. You can join the chat room. We're number one in the chat room, by the way, guys, too. So let's do this next Thursday, Mendelakan, and you and I will talk privately, of course. But Mendelakan, take 2 minutes, and then your co-host, and then if we got time, anyone else who wants to jump in here. So, Mendelakan, you first. Take 2 minutes to wrap up tonight's program. Go ahead.
All right, quickly now. We are organizing in place. The Coalition of the Willing. I am one, and you are one, whoever you are. We all need each other now. We represent the Committee of the Whole. So as we organize in place, we have to have further consultation and communication through social media. That's your Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. So you can find me at Facebook, MANDELAKHAN. That's MANDELAKHAN Davis. Mendelakan Davis. Friend me, a friend request, and I'll be sending you information on how we can organize in place, but you must organize those people in your friends list. This is how we organize in place. You go on and keep doing everything you're doing each and every day, but spend an hour a day letting the people know about this program. Go to the archives, get the copy, and have them call in and listen next week online, wherever they are, if they're on the computer. I'm not sure if we got YouTube or whatever, but Joe will tell you about that. But the fact of the matter is that we need more people, and everyone must get in. There's no big I's and no little U's. we are all the same. I am you and you are me. That's the way we're going to get this thing where we all can be free. So my contact information again is Mendelakan, Mandelakan, David on Facebook, and friend me. And those that want to friend the real chosen daughter of the matriarch, who can tell you that there's 11 million women just like her. You women, you need to contact her, and you need to contact her almost immediately so she can show you the new coordinates on how we're organizing in place. I say it your turn.
Hi, again, yes, feel free to contact me and friend me on Facebook, Akshita Veda. That's AKSHITA Veda, VEDA. That's Akshita Veda. And feel free, if you have any questions that you have as far as homeschooling, the matriarch, reprogramming and deprogramming in the mind and healing from within, contact me in my inbox. Again, that's Akshita Veda. Akshita is spelled AKSHITA Veda, VEDA. Much love, much respect.
Namaste.
Who's next?
Yes, it's me. This is CJ. I'll go next. Okay. Yes. This is CJ. You can contact me at on Facebook. I go by CJ the Prince. Always remember that the universe speaks off the energy that you bring. So if you bring out a positive energy around our universe, that's all we're going to receive is positive energy, which is what we need, because that is the main key to reuniting and to change reality. So we have to change the mentality to change reality.
All right, very good. Next, Brother Mercy. You still there, Brother Mercy?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, make your final comments, please.
All right, this is Brother Mercy. You can find me on Facebook, Mercy Messianic Judaism. What I wanted to say really quick is that we are governed, we're supposed to be governed by the people, for the people, and other people, but the problem is we have this voting system where we elect people to rule over us. So, of course, during a certain time, we had to vote to change things. But I believe that the voting system is how we put ourselves in bondage, because who we vote for rules over us. So if we would be a government of the people, by the people, for the people, if we didn't vote for nobody. And so my point is this: the church with the tax-free status has the answer. We need to all have tax-free status. None of us need to pay taxes, just like the churches. So that's why they have political power. The churches are, because they don't have to pay taxes. So it should be for everybody. Nobody's having to pay taxes they don't want to. So that's my point on Brother Mercy. We need to come up with some type of business plan, like the church, where we ain't got to pay no daggone taxes, and we ain't got to have nobody rule over us. All right, that's it.
Very good. Anonymous, you're unmuted. Go ahead, Anonymous. Go ahead, and then I'll wrap up the program with Mendelakan. Anonymous, you still there? All right, Anonymous, are you still there? Okay, maybe not. What I'll do is I'll mute you and then unmute you so you can hear it, because I see you on my call line. You're unmuted. Anonymous, are you there? All right, maybe not. All right. Anyone else? Press the number 1. You can get a minute to speak if you wish. You can get a minute or 2 to speak live. I don't screen callers, so press 1. Otherwise, I'm going to go ahead and get ready to wrap up the program. We had an awesome show tonight. That's why I want to continue it next Thursday. Mendelakan, you and I, we need to continue this program. Awesome information. And for the call that I made to Dr. Peter Ventura, maybe he'll show something next Thursday. Maybe he'll show up because, you know, he's a 501c3 puppet. That's what he is. He and I have been at each other's odds about that. Tone, I'm sure he'll be back, and maybe Bitbanker and a couple of my supporters will jump in too, because let me tell you something. This was a powerful show. It was great. Awesome. We only got about 30 seconds left. Maybe a couple minutes after that if we went into overtime. But I got to wrap up the program if no one else jumps in. Press 1 now. Otherwise, next Thursday, you can have your say. Okay? And understanding the times in which you live in today, that's the name of the program. 6 p.m. We broadcast sometimes on Sundays, too. So if you want to join in on Sunday, Mendelakan's been there with us, too. Next Thursday, though, I hope to have the same crowd. It was an awesome program. Awesome. It was awesome. Awesome. Much information tonight. It was awesome. You can't deny that. So many people joined in, too.